Mercedes have a lot of electrics involved in their vehicles, in which a lot of things can go wrong, which then leads to assumptions and guessing. A blown fuse, for example, or relay can lead to a no power supply to a Mercedes vehicle. When we don't have no power, the first assumption we usually make is that EIS, electronic ignition switch. Although this module is a common problem for Mercedes, even including the older EZS modules. Hang tight guys, I'm going to show you quickly how to judge if this is your issue or not. Signal acquisition module, known as the SAM module, which receives the data from switches, sensors and controllers. This module has been used by Mercedes since the mid-90s to today. This module is fragile, one short can cause the module to be finished. And the nice thing of Mercedes is they stuff some important relays and fuses inside this module. Mercedes has a lot of electronic issues, and mainly with the newer vehicles, 2012 upwards, this SAM module. So what Mercedes have done, have built the power relay inside there. So if you have a short circuit or issue like that, most likely going to be this one here, or if it's not a blown fuse. So with some issues as well, people mistake the IES on the Mercedes. So if you're having a problem not being able to start your vehicle, it's not starting, most likely it's the IES, the unit behind the dashboard. But first thing you want to do is check this fuse here, the green one, or just check your circuit diagram, which one is the starter relay. Sometimes that one messes up, so it may be that. But how you determine it's not the SAM module or the IES, you know with the IES what everything else works, your radio, your wiper motor, horns, everything work, except it's not starting. So first thing you want to do is check all the fuses, and then check this relay as well, and then you know that's your issue. Now, if you're having a problem with power relay, power issues where nothing's starting up, you're only the interior lights coming on when you open the door, most likely is the SAM modules packed up. It is common, so how you can determine if this is the issue is basically, I've taken out the battery, I've taken out this alternator wire here, and I'm going to give it a direct feed now with this 12 volt battery charger. So I'm going to put this on here. If my problem was this, because inside this SAM fuse, the SAM module, there's got so many fuses, and if one's popped in there, really bad. But however, there might be other issues in there that Mercedes are put in. So now how I could tell, if I put this negative onto the ground now and nothing happens, I know that module's messed up. So let's have a look. Yep. Okay. Could see before there was no radio, only the lights were coming up. So just get the key. Here it goes. I put the key in now. Yes, I could hear something. And turn it. There it goes. Radio, everything should come on. Lights. What I did basically, I know it's working. My problem's not with the SAM module. I've got an issue somewhere else, but to test the SAM module before you swap anything, best way to test it is take off the alternator wire and just put a positive cable on there and ground it, and if that module makes things work, you know your SAM module is not the issue. So as you see in there guys, once I put a feed onto that SAM module, everything came on. So I know the SAM module is not my issue. If your SAM module, if it's not getting any power once you put a feed in there, then you know you got an issue in there. After you've put in some power feed and nothing comes on, your problem is the SAM module. But my problem ain't that. But I'm going to show you guys how to remove this anyway. So what we're going to do is, next to your battery, you get a little terminal like this. What we need to do is take apart this. First, to take apart this, what we need to do is take it off. So first thing we're going to do is take this up and remove this 30 mil, 10 mil, and disconnect the battery. So let's do that first. Remove it completely. This one also. Get that
out the way. Next, get a little pick, and you want to lift this upwards. Once it's up, push in, maybe wiggle this out the way, and that's out. Move that aside, tuck it away somewhere, and then we've got one more 10mm there. That's all out the way. Them three, we got them out the way. There's two tabs here at the back here. With a small pick, just pull that forward, and that one there also, just bring that forward. Let's move forward, pull wood one side. You'll notice it will keep going back, but you want to pull this away. And then at the same time, shake up. Put your hand underneath, and you just want to gently lift it up, like that. Let's come away from that now. So as far up as this will go, when you see a notch just there, with a pick you want to go in, just mind this aircon pipe, and just go in till it comes out. I've loosened this aircon pipe here to get a bit more pull, but I'm not seeming to get much on it because I've got a couple of more 10mm at the bottom there to get. So what I've done, I've taken out all the ties at the bottom here, and there's still not much slack in it. So now if I chase this wire back where it's coming from underneath this battery tray. So what I'm going to do is just take out this battery tray. It's held on by one T45 there. So I've taken out this battery terminal, and if you see over here, there's a patch that goes through here, and it's got zip ties all along here. I've taken them all off. One there, one there, one there, and a couple up here. And now you get a bit more access to lift it upwards. So you definitely need to remove this battery tray, otherwise you can't unzip these ties to get a bit more access. The last three you got that you need to get to, you got a bit more access, a bit more room over there to get to them three. I've taken a picture and got to remove them three now, and they should all come away. There we have it, guys. There's plenty of zip ties you have to cut, but I found taking this battery tray, it was a bit more easier to lift, but that tray, it's not the easiest. How Mercedes are pulling, they put everything obstructing it so you can't even get it out, but you just got to wiggle it past all of this and you should be fine. Got my new box in today, exchanged one. I've set up my zip ties to tie all the wires back together. Brought all my wires across. All these ones I'm going to put in first, the bottom 3. Then I'm going to go for the 13 mil and the little wiring. And then we got the 2 10 mils on this side. And the big wiring along the bottom. I'm going to put all of that in and then zip the wires down. And then go back here and tie everything else back up. So just got them 10 mils all back in, the 13 mil, the sensor, the big one at the back. Before I tidy it up, what I'm going to do is just going to put this back on, put all of these back on, and I just want to check if the wiring switch is back on. So I'm just going to do that first. So guys, I've just built it up temporarily. So what I'm going to do now is put a jump starter on it just to see if all the power's coming on before I go ahead and build this all back up. I put everything together. I put the positive onto the positive and the negative onto the negative before I build everything back up. So it won't be a waste of time. Just go around, check the lights come on. Door locks, put the key in, everything turns on. All the lights, everything turning on. I'm going to say it's not a really nice job to do, but take my tip, take out that battery tray and then you can pull it upwards and just take your time. If you're going to DIY it, it is possible, but just take your time and don't rip any of those wires or terminals inside because they're very fragile, and some they don't sit in place. You got to push it, and if it doesn't, you just have to break the nut off, the 10 mil or the 13 mil, push it till it sits in, and then tighten it up. Use a different screw or nut or something if you cross thread it, but don't squeeze it in because you're going to break the terminals inside. Thank you guys for watching me. That's how you do it. Thank you. Please like and subscribe. There we have it, guys. Bastards out.